currently the TPLF is not in a position to formally confront Ethiopian soldiers.
If there is a problem, it is from the TPLF side, actually.
Find out where we are in responding to the issues that are happening in northern Ethiopia.
So I'm very confident that all the security problems will be addressed probably within a very few times. I can confirm that Ethiopia is progressing in bringing about peace and stability in Tigray region. This is the hard fact. It's not as social media and some actors are reporting. The fact on the ground regarding to peace and stability in Tigray region is real otherwise. Of course, I recognize that there are some few local places where insurgencies are there, very few places. Otherwise, all the region, Tigray regional regional state is really progressing in terms of security and peace. Particularly, I want to confirm that really we are so much concerned about humanitarian and human rights issues. Ethiopia has no space for any impunity. For example, I can witness that we have taken 60 troops, army accountable. And we are also working on the other, if there are probably some troops who have raped and engaged in human rights violations. Therefore, this clearly indicates that particularly the Minister of Defense is highly committed in bringing those troops who are suspected of violating human rights. This is a big achievement, and this will continue. And also we are working to make all the access possible for partners, even including to the rural areas. We are coordinating all the security sectors. We are working with the regional state, Tigray regional state. Therefore, hopefully this will also give some conducive environment for partners, just for humanitarian support. The other point I want to raise is really, now what is very problematic is information and disinformation. Really, if we are to support the Ethiopian government to work and to address all the structural causes, really all the partnership should take and should rely on really data. Reliable data should be taken into consideration. Otherwise, we'll be biased. So I really want to focus particularly those actors who deliberately disinform. Disinformation is really something I feel very bad just to understand facts on the ground.
Find out where we are in responding to the issues that are happening in northern Ethiopia, and also secondly to ensure that we understand that we're all jointly wanting the same results. We want to see the people in northern Ethiopia have good, dignified lives, and that we find solutions to the issues that are making their lives very difficult at the moment. What was very useful was to hear the progress as identified by a Minister of Peace in the response provided around health, food delivery, water and sanitation, even preparations for agriculture in the region.
And the other issue is the access is maybe restricted on these two areas. The other issue which was raised is that the restriction on the checkpoints of such kinds. as you know, some aid trucks which are carrying aids are carrying at the same time some ammunition and also some items, materials, which can be supplied to the armed groups. So we have to check all the trucks. So sometimes there is a need to stop on the checkpoints, and there are some complaints based on that. But I think we are making it in every 3 days that we can escort the vehicles to some needed areas, and we are supporting that. And most of the Tigray regions, most of the areas are open to the delivery of food aid. And but these restrictions, some of the restrictions or some of the checkings are due to reasons that already mentioned, especially some of them are carrying some supports to the combatants. That's why we are just restricting them. On the side of the cultivation, the soldiers are not, or they are allowing the farmers to plow their land and cultivate. There is no problem. If there is a problem, it is from the TPLF side, actually. They want to use it for a political gain for them, not to allow people just to cause a famine or something like that, for using it for their political strategies that people are in danger and something like that. In our case, we are just encouraging the farmers to go to their farmland to plow. So these allegations are not actually based on the fact on the ground.
For us as the international community to be able to say that we're working with the government, we're trying to address the same issues, but we understand that the resource gaps are still very much huge, because the people in need, we haven't met the needs of all the people in need, and we still have made a promise that we will address all the people who require services, whether it's access to water, whether it's access to shelter, because as you know, many people have been displaced from their initial homes and have found themselves in places where they would not want to be, but also to address the future as we move forward, as the insurgency continues even at this time. So the opportunity to meet and to hear, and for the government also to listen to us about some of our challenges and how we can come together to address them, was very useful, and we will be taking that back.
The civil defense coordination should be seen as the context of Emergency Coordination Center. As you all know, we have established Emergency Coordination Center at Mekelle after the completion of law enforcement operation, so that we do have security section among the ECC sections as a center, so that it is meant that one military official would be the member of the ECC, so that it is expected to coordinate the military escorting whenever we are transporting food from Mekelle warehouse to food distribution sites. So that, in my view, it should be strengthened. The minister, the general are here, so that the civil and the defense coordination can be seen thoroughly, and we can strengthen the defense and the military relationship in order to create conducive environment for all partners, especially the six food operators, as well as the non-food operators who are working in Tigray. This is my second point. The third point, instead of establishing additional and parallel coordination mechanism, it is better to strengthen the existing coordination mechanism. It is global one. It is well certified by UN OCHA. Wherever you go, there are 10 sectoral task forces or clusters having a line ministry and a lead UN agency who are serving as a co-chair. As long as we are able to strengthen the 10 clusters including the Eastern coordination mechanism at the federal and Tigray region. Hopefully, we can solve all challenges and we can fill the weak link that we have been encountering recently. My last point is on IDP. Of course, the government of Ethiopia adopt the international IDP guiding principles, namely it should be informed, it should be dignified, it should be voluntary, it should be safe and secured and sustainable, so that the government of Ethiopia abide and stick to these IDP guiding principles, so that now we have classified the IDPs into three categories. In full and 100% secured area, we need to send them back to use the hammer season to produce, to get out of emergency assistance for next year. This is the first priority. The second priority, instead of keeping them at a temporary shelter, if they do have relatives, it is one of the mechanisms to suppress trauma case, because they do have the opportunity to deal whatever they do have with their relatives. The second component is to keep them as their relatives until we are able to secure condition in the region. The third one, keeping them at a temporary shelter. It needs huge investment from the government as well as a partner. We have to construct temporary shelters. We have to provide them with non-food items, because the food is no problem essentially, because we are working in all areas. So that the main challenges in FI, as rightly reported by Her Excellency Mufariat earlier, now we do have huge gap. It is 33% is secured. Now there is 67 gap, so that we have to work strongly to fill this gap and construct temporary shelter for those IDPs who will not be able to return to the original place, or those who are not be able to stay with their relatives. These are the way that we have planned to deal with the IDP.
As you know, Tigray is under the state of emergency. We are working on that decree, so that there are some activities on some areas, especially as you mentioned it, on the central Tigray area. There are a low-level combat activities which are occurring here and there. Actually, in the areas of Addis and in Tamben area. I don't think someone was mentioned around Dima and Fiyaluha. There is no any activities there. But on this Tamben area, there are some combat activities. So if we allow aid workers to that area, they can be caught under the crossfires. So there might be some damage on the aid workers. So what we make is just to make some restrictions on some places. Like I said, in Tamben and in the southwestern part of Tigray, especially in west of Maicho, in areas of Bora and Dela. Here also there are some small and low-level activities here and there. So in order to make safe all the aid workers, we are hampering some activities of aids in that area, but not allowing the food aid. We are but we are not allowing people because, you know, that you can understand it, the problem.
Currently, the TPLF is not in a position to formally confront Ethiopian soldiers. Completely not at all. They are not in this position. Unless they are in some pocket areas, they have, of course, high mobility. Just otherwise, if they are here today, they move some other time, and just to show they are many numbers, and to show they are really confronting Ethiopian troops. But I can confirm you that they are not in this position. They cannot confront Ethiopian soldiers this time. So I'm very confident that all the security problems will be addressed probably within a very few times maybe. As to the Eritrean troops, as the Deputy Prime Minister has mentioned, they are withdrawing from Ethiopia. They are withdrawing their troops from Ethiopia. We are making some arrangement as to how they peacefully withdraw their armies. So this will be completed probably within a very short time, but I can confirm you that the process has already started. Therefore, generally speaking, as to the peace and the security related to Tigray region, everything is getting better, and will organize, coordinate all the security agencies just to address some of the problems, particularly we observe in very pocket areas. So,
and the other point is about the humanitarian issue. You know, sometimes we are really sorry that when our army is, you know, they say that there are abuses on women and killings and something like that. We are trying our best to protect the civilian population from any abuses. And as the Minister Mufariat said it, we are following the policy of zero tolerance. We are not accepting any crimes. If there is any crime also, we are just punishing our soldiers. We are not doing that not because, you know, just to make happy anybody in any international community. We are doing it for our purpose by itself. If someone is killing a Tigray citizen, tomorrow we don't know he can kill also an Oromo or an Amhara or another citizens also. So we do not allow any killings. But we do not say that our soldiers are all angels, you know. There are people maybe doing some crimes, some wrongdoings. So we are tackling on it. We do have a military court. As you know, even in Tambian area, the administration knows it. Even we just showed that for the people that we are treating them as a criminals, and we just showed them that we are not, you know, we cannot just allow this kind of things to happen again. And we have punished them before the people also. People knows that. And, you know, we are not, this army is not fulfilling a mission only in Ethiopia. We are everywhere. We are in Africa. And even the UN report says our army is disciplined. When we are disciplined with blue berets for the UN mission, why do we be just criminals when we are wearing green berets in our country? So the report should be balanced. And if there are some problems, we are just tackling it, and we are punishing them. So it should be considered. And the report should include also this. And finally, just to solve all the problems and issues which were raised, we do have a committee also at the level of Makale, or the Tigray region. We have civilian and military committees, down to the Warada level also. Sometimes when people are busy on some activities, they were not maybe available on time, but we are trying to meet and solve all the issues. And I assure everybody here that we continue to cooperate at all levels to solve all the existing challenges.
I think it's really, really important to understand that the people of Tigray are Ethiopians. They are our people. So there needs to be a clear differentiation between the TPLF and the people of Tigray, which seems to be continuously mixed up. So the rule of law operations, again to emphasize, has been targeting a small group who have been behind orchestrating so many criminal activities, but the people of Tigray remain Ethiopian people, and they are our people that we want to serve. So this claims of food being used as a weapon of war is really not in support of the people of Tigray, and it really dehumanizes the connection that this country has with the people in that region.